I'm training for the New York City Marathon using Runna. Nobody paid me to do it. I paid out of pocket for this experience, and I made some pros and cons. And little background is I've already run New York City twice, and I also have an RCA coaching certification, so I know exactly what I'm looking for, what my body's capable of, which comes into play later. So first, the pros of Runner. Pros are programming all at once. A real big reason that I went with a robot plan instead of trying to make it up on my own on the fly is that logistically, that's pretty complicated. I travel a lot full time for work. And so just to be able to see all 18 weeks in advance and allowed to just move around in my schedule instead of just saying, coach, well, we'll see, blah, blah, blah. I liked that it was just all handed to me on a plate at once. My second favorite thing is that you get to tweak your parameters. So if you're making a long distance plan, you can say, I want it to be this many weeks. I can only commit to 2 hours of strength every time. I only want to do this 2 times a week. I want this percentage of my long run to feature pace work. I know personally, some people go really high, 50, 60 plus miles for a week, but I'm in the back or slower end of the pack. So I know that I can handle 40 miles a week, like tops. So I like that if you go into the advanced settings, yes, it can be a cookie cutter plan, but you are actually able to get under the hood and tweak into something that works best for you as a runner. And then third, race specific plans. So it's not just I want to run a marathon. This plan that I'm using is tailored for the New York City Marathon, which has more elevation than some others. So I like that it takes the course into account. And then also well-balanced mileage. If you are in the running space, you might have heard the term 80-20, and so it's like 80% of your miles are supposed to be easy, so you can hit 20% of your mileage really, really hard. And I've been keeping track of all this mileage in a spreadsheet on the side, plotting it out, and Runna pretty much, it undulates per week, but overall, it's pretty well balanced and stays within that 80-20 parameter. And lastly, it'll auto adjust your paces. So if you're hitting them or you're not hitting them, it'll kind of be like, okay. And finally, on the thing about pace work that I like about Runna is that I have long maybe played the victim when working with a human coach saying, oh, these paces are too spicy. But Runna is just, it takes your feelings out of it. Like it's a robot. And just, if I can run a 5K in, 27 minutes, then I should be able to. And sometimes I just get scared. And it's like, no, if most runners that can run a 5K, a 10K at this pace, can run a half marathon and a full marathon at this pace, then odds are I'm average. It literally says in my screen name, I'm an average runner. So I'm not an outlier. So it helps me just tackle these paces. And sometimes I've been able to surprise myself. So because I've been using Runna, I have hit paces that I have not hit in a couple years, which is really exciting. And now to the cons, because, not everything's perfect. The cons. You can't really make modifications for sickness. You can make like an injury pause, like, oh, I broke my leg. But if you're just like, I'm feeling fluey, I don't know, there's really not much to take into account when you're under the weather and how you should change your plan. On that, it should say life stress as well. So yes, it connects to your Garmin. That's pretty awesome. But your Garmin also knows when you're sleeping. It knows when you're sleeping. It knows when you're awake. And it knows when you're feeling bad or good with your HRV, with your stress scores. And unfortunately, Runna don't give a fuck about any of that. So while your Garmin can say your training status is strained, Runna's like, you either ran this workout or you didn't. There is no in between. And then finally, the algorithm. It's a little too optimistic for me. Strava thinks that I can run a marathon in 4:38. So my PR is 4:53, and I know that's conservative because I'm a little scared to burn out. Strava thinks I can run 4:38. I think Garmin has me in a 4:22, and Runna's like, yeah, well, you can slide in a 4:06. You're telling me I have to PR my half marathon twice? So all in all, I know that Runna can be a little polarizing. As somebody who's been distance running for a solid 10 years now, I know what my body is capable of. I know it's sustainable for me, and I know how to gradually increase my workload and mileage. And Runna can be challenging. So I think it is an excellent guide for experienced runners who are perhaps looking to eliminate the mental load, but don't necessarily want to go all in on personal one-on-one coaching. But if you are brand new, and are not really sure what's sustainable for you yet, I would proceed with caution.